I'm Simone Claxton, President and Founder of the Sapphire Miriam Foundation, a nonprofit organization founded in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Welcome, it's another bright and beautiful day. Thank God for health, strength, and life. It's wonderful to be back here with you, lovely young ladies, my precious gems, and our token male gentleman, Mr. Ricardo, according to you, Talia. Thank you very much, J'elle. Yes, so we have Ricardo with us and J'elle and Debra, who will be taking our topic of emotional intelligence this morning. Something very much real. We live our lives every day, you know, sometimes not being in touch with our emotions and how it impacts on other persons around us, and how it impacts on our daily lives. So emotional intelligence, it's now 9:17 Atlantic Standard Time, so we're getting ready to kick off things. First of all, I'd like to start with a game, a very fun game. So I think, Debra, you can read out in the chat some of the answers for us.
Okay.
If that's okay. And so we're going to see who can type the fastest. So we're going to read the first 5 answers for each question, right? How are you guys this morning? Ladies, let's see how you're going.
I'm okay.
Vincent, nice. So we have young ladies from all over the Caribbean.
Let's get some adjective. Good is overused. Great, Ariana.
Great, Ariana.
Yes.
Hope you've been having a wonderful school term thus far.
Wonderful, Shreya. Excellent.
Lovely. Okay, so we're going to play a little game to start off the topic of emotional intelligence. Okay, so I'm going to spin a digital wheel and we're going to read out the first 5 answers for each question. So the first thing that comes to mind, okay? After that, it's going to be a really fun and interactive session. We're going to have some presentations or speeches by Ricardo, J'elle, and Debra. And then we're going to have a panel discussion where you can ask all your questions, anything that's, you know, weighing on your mind. And we're going to do a couple of games and also a breakout room session. Okay. Nice. So this is a game called Getting to Know You, right? So we're going to get to know each other this morning. So get your fingers ready. Type in the chat. Okay, and Deborah's going to read out the first 5 answers. So I'm going to spin the wheel. And let's see what the first question is. Top 3 activities or hobbies. So you're going to write your top 3 activities or hobbies.
Oh, we have Ariana reading, cooking, and dancing.
Lovely. So we know Ariana likes to read, cook, and dance. Who's next? If you want to mute your mic, you can do that.
Shreya said painting, reading, and watching anime.
Right, painting, reading, anime. Okay. Oh, okay, great. Nice. Let's spin the wheel again to see what other question we have coming up. So we're getting to know each other.
Samaya says watching movies, playing the keyboard / piano.
Okay, wonderful. So one word that describes me is? One word to describe yourself. So we're looking for an adjective here to describe you.
I guess for this, because it's one word, they could just unmute.
Yeah, just unmute your mics.
Let's see, Ariana says intelligence.
Lovely.
Samaya, what's your word?
Saji Sahatu says she's smart.
Smart, lovely. Vincent, one word to describe yourself.
Samaya says smart. I'm seeing.
Shreya says artistic. Vincent, brilliant.
Brilliant. Okay, great, great. One more person.
Caitlin, unique.
Unique. Ah, love that.
Me, myself, cuckoo.
That's cuckoo for you, Debra.
I'm cuckoo. So they say, but
Okay.
I love it. I love it.
That's a good cuckoo.
Yeah.
Okay, so would you rather? I know the young people these days like to play this game. Would you rather Read a book or talk
Oh,
with
read
your
a book.
friends. I think I'd rather read a book. Come on, guys.
Oh, Princess says she'd rather read a book.
Okay.
Talk with friends. Samaja.
Samaya, rather talk to friends.
Okay.
Samaya.
Shreya, Ariana, everybody else saying read.
Read. Okay.
Interesting.
Nice. All right, let's see what the next question is.
J'elle, you rather talk with friends or read?
100% talk. I love reading too.
Ooh,
Oh,
would you
my
rather eat or
word.
sleep? This is a hard one.
Too fun. We need both.
Yeah.
Sleep.
Sleep?
Sleep.
I love my food, you know. I think I'd rather eat. I don't know. It's a hard one. Come on, ladies. What do you say? Unmute your mics.
Ariana say eat. Samaya say eat. Eat.
Okay.
Vincent eat.
Oh,
Everybody, most people like the belly, man.
they like the belly. Okay, nice.
Katisha and Princess said sleep.
Princess sleep.
Oh, Katisha went to sleep. Okay. Nice, Katisha. Come on. My family. Sentence about your family. Couple words. My family is. Let's hear Katisha on this one. Get those fingers working in the chat, girls.
My family is awesome. Share.
Okay.
My family is human. Katisha. Saji. Kind, smart, and always happy.
Nice.
Ariana. My family is very interesting and unique.
Interesting and unique. Okay.
Yes. Princess said my family is big.
Ah, okay.
Samantha said my family is amazing.
So I want to be, let's see some answers in the chat. I want to be, what do you want to be?
Sanji says she wants to be a doctor.
Doctor.
Ariana, a lawyer.
Okay.
Nice. We have a lot of doctors and lawyers.
What else, girls?
We're the farmers.
Oh yeah, we need to eat. So everybody loves to eat, nobody loves to plant, huh?
Translator. Samaya, translator. Arctic. Vincent, Arctic. An artist, you mean?
That's it. So cool.
And Shea says she wants to be an anesthesiologist. Oh, I can't pronounce that one. Sorry.
Anesthesiologist.
Yes, anesthesiologist. Princess says she wants to be a judge. Judge
Ooh.
Charles Mark. Okay.
Nice. So let's see. My favorite movie is, this should be fun. My favorite movie is a very interesting one. It's one of Richard Gere, a very long time ago, Pretty Woman. I think it's kind of classic, you know. It's one of my favorites.
Princess, your favorite movie is Anonymous? Oh, yes. Her favorite movie is Anonymous.
That's an interesting one. I don't think I've heard that one.
No, not me. So perhaps we have to watch it.
Oh, yes. I think I'll have to check into that one.
See, this is a proper getting to know you. Shreya is Slender Man. Saji is Freddie. Saji, you can send your message to everyone so we can keep it on the chat. I know some of you send it directly to me.
Any other movies?
Ariana, Good Witch. Okay. Saji, House on the Hill.
The real horror movie in this place, but
oh boy.
I don't even know any of those names.
I know them from scrolling straight past them.
Correct.
I'm not looking for that frightened
Mm-mm.
action.
Yeah, me, I'm afraid of them sci-fi things, boy.
Not me.
I'm a scaredy cat. Five Nights of Freddy, Shreya.
Okay.
People
like a lot of horror movies here.
My kind of movie is sitting down in nature and watching the sunrise.
Oh, okay. So
Five
let's see.
Nights
I
of
hope.
Freddy.
What's your hope? I hope.
Mm.
It's an interesting one.
Yeah, I like that one. Vince Lynn is Bad Guys movie. Okay, so now we're going on the hope. to get a scholarship.
hope?
Yeah, we're claiming it.
Lovely.
Claiming it. Scholarship for Ari. Ari's going into high school.
Okay. So what are we hoping for?
To graduate college. Good, Treya.
Lovely.
Treya. I hope I can eat some delicious cake, Princess.
Yes, Princess.
Okay. So let's see what else we've got coming up. Oh, my favorite food is, this is a lovely one.
Pizza, Shreya, pizza. We'll have a pizza party.
Oh yes, everybody loves pizza and fried chicken.
And fries. Pasta.
Oh, yeah.
Jocelyn,
Potato.
KFC.
Potatoes.
Potato.
Princess' favorite food is seafood and curry.
Oh,
That's a
curry.
Guyanese in her. The Guyanese Trinidadian in her.
Okay.
Vincelin cake. Ariana baked mac and cheese and fried chicken.
Oh my gosh. Let's see what we've got coming up next. Top 3 inventions. What do you think are some of the top 3 inventions?
Some things that you cannot live without, that was invented by somebody.
Somebody
What's
a
your-
long time ago.
Your top 3. Oh, snow cone, Katisha.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, and cotton candy, right, Katisha?
Oh, ice cream, Saji. Top 3 invention, ice cream.
Anything else, ladies?
Cake, the light bulb.
Ah, yeah, it's true. We can't live without electricity, can we?
I definitely say the internet.
Oh, phone burger.
Oh
I was
yeah.
thinking the same.
I don't know how we lived without it before.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking the same as well. Without the internet, this could not be possible.
Oh,
Princess said
definitely.
car, Wi-Fi, and internet, her top 3.
Okay.
Car, Wi-Fi, and internet.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Wi-Fi
cars,
and
that's
internet
true.
is the same too.
Yeah. Mobility cars, isn't it?
Yes, it's essential.
Definitely. Top 3 things to learn about. What do you
2,
think are some of
3,
the top
list
3
3.
things to learn
The
about?
phone, sugar, Princess. Why sugar the top 3?
To learn about. Maybe to learn to stay away from sugar.
Okay. Now, we move on.
Probably,
Things to learn about. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we move on.
That's the other question, yeah. So top 3 things to learn about, ladies.
Or maybe we might want to ask Princess why she said she wanted to learn about sugar. It's very interesting.
Princess, you want to expand on that?
That was for the previous question.
The quick question.
I can't live without sugar.
You can't live without sugar. Okay,
Ah.
I will deal with you.
Sugar, which is bad for you, isn't it?
Okay,
Yeah.
Princess.
Right. So we have 2 more minutes again, and then we're going to go into our discussion with J'elle.
Okay, top 3 things to learn about. You want to learn about the planets, Ariana. You want to learn about geology, Semaya. You want to learn about space.
Lovely. Let's take one more question.
Ooh, physics. I love physics. Everything is physics. Oh,
Oh,
myself.
I hate physics. Would you rather play basketball or create art?
Art.
Yeah,
Art.
Ricardo. I know you was going to say that
Ariana
one.
basketball, Princess basketball.
I don't know. Those are 2 choices, 2 strange choices to me. So,
Well, you had to pick one.
I got to play basketball once
Yeah,
in my life.
basketball.
Art, maybe create art. I don't know. Yeah. Probably. Come on, ladies.
Create art, Vislin.
Okay. Right, one more.
Ariana, basketball.
Ooh, top 3 animals. Okay, top 3 animals. Dogs, rabbits. What else? I don't know.
Cat.
Okay.
Katisha, Shreya, dog, cat, and rabbit. Samaya, cats, bunny, birds.
Okay. Nice.
Wolf, bear, and beef. I mean, wolf, bear, and cows.
Oh.
Ariana, rabbit, dog, and parrot.
I think you're thinking about food, Ricardo.
My top three will be the eagle, the jaguar, and the butterfly.
Oh, yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I love the eagle. Very symbolic.
Yeah, divine.
Right. Yeah, very symbolic eagle. Right, ladies. I hope that was fun. So we're gonna play another game later on. So we're going to introduce J'elle Valdez, our guest today, who will give us a little background on herself and introduce the topic of emotional intelligence. And we'll have Ricardo and Debra as well. And then we'll open the floor for questions. So, J'elle, thank you for joining us today.
My name is J'elle Valdez, and I am a counseling psychologist. I've been practicing for the past 10 years, primarily with older adolescents, adults, and couples. And I think what I've seen the most, I see a variety of issues, but a lot tends to come from anxiety and depression. So I would say a lot of my content and my practice is based in that. Yeah, so that's me.
Now, J'elle, despite being as modest as she has introduced herself, is also the president of her Past Students Association. What is the full name again?
I am. That's the Holy Faith Convent Penal Alumni Association. Yes.
All right. And she's also the managing director and lead psychologist for Equilibre.
That's my practice. The name of my business is Equilibre Counseling and Consulting Services, and Equilibre is French for balance, because I really like the concept of living a balanced life.
Okay. So we're looking at you are in leadership positions. Right? We look at the fact that you have to manage a number of individuals within the organizations that you work with and also your clients. Now you have your master's in education in counseling psychology as well.
I do.
Right. And I would like to apologize
From
for
Howard University, not Spelman. I apologize.
That's why I was not going to apologize,
Yeah.
because I know you went to Howard University and we use a Spelman song.
I mean, hit a little bit, but I'll be okay.
Yeah, that's all right. Next time we'll use a Howard song.
I don't know if there are any, to be honest, but we can find them. We can look for them.
All right. So, J'elle, first and foremost, there's one more thing I forgot. J'elle is the host of her very own podcast called Chit Chatt with 2 T's.
That I am.
It is a project that we started to normalize mental health conversation. And I want to do a bit of a mock episode so that we could help you guys understand emotional intelligence and also normalize mental health or even difficult conversations. So we're gonna start as if we do in a regular episode. I'm gonna ask J'elle a question, and then she's going to host our 2 guests this morning, Simone Claxton and Debra. Yeah.
Really?
Yes,
we are. Right. So, J'elle, if you don't mind doing a normal intro.
Oh, well, hello everyone, and welcome to Chit Chat with 2 T's. I'm your host, J'elle Valdez. I'm a counseling psychologist, and today we're going to speak with the Sapphire Miriam Foundation. Did I have it right? Yes,
that's correct. Yeah.
And with us we have Miss Simone Claxton and Miss Debra. Oh, you're muted.
Charles Mark.
Debra Charles Mark. Oh, you related to Princess?
Yes, my daughter.
Oh, very nice, very nice. Okay, well, welcome. We're happy to have you.
So, J'elle, as you guy behind the camera and the fellow who's going to be editing this interview, I have a question.
Yes.
What would you say is emotional intelligence?
Well, I think generally emotional intelligence is the ability to recognize emotions perceive them and manage them well, yours and others.
So
generally.
it's not.
This is the simplest explanation, I think.
So emotional intelligence is not just about understanding people. It means you have to understand yourself.
That's absolutely correct.
Okay. And when you say manage your emotions, you don't mean control, like press them down and stifle them. You mean manage them as in use them properly?
Use them properly, use them accurately, be able to recognize what you're feeling and act accordingly.
Would act accordingly mean express these feelings to others?
Yes, to be able to express your feelings to others in a respectful way, both to you and to them, very, very authentically, honestly, and also be able to empathize with someone else. So put yourself in somebody else's shoes to understand what they may be experiencing or what they may be feeling, which is different from being sympathetic, which is just, oh my gosh, I feel so sorry for you, but you're not really trying to understand what the person is going through.
All right. So, and I'm putting you on the spot here, but that exercise we did about getting to know you, do you think that understanding what people like and dislike, do you think that that type of thing helps us to understand their feelings about things?
Yes, I think definitely more information is the better. Anything you can get from someone, it could definitely help you try to understand them better. But you also have to have a willingness to want to understand that person. Because I could give you all the information about me, but if you don't care, it doesn't make any difference.
Okay, so emotional intelligence requires an interest in learning as well.
Yes, it's very helpful for interpersonal relationships.
Okay, I know to managing clients and the people who you organize, it helps to get that they may not be experiencing what you experience and they may not like what you like. Right. So I want to ask you if you could give us like a little demo as to the type of thing that we do in Chit Chat with Two T's, starting with, this is the Sapphire Miriam Foundation, and a couple of us have our cups, one of which I'll try to get to you as quickly as possible.
Thank you.
So I don't know if you'd like to take the lead, Duran. Let's do a little 10 minutes of chit chat.
Well, typically we would ask our guests, what do they have in their cups? Because I have found that sometimes the type of cup you have, or even what you have in your cup, can tell me a little bit about you. So I don't know if Simone and Debra would like to share with us, what do they have in their cups, if their cups are nearby. I think I saw Debra proudly holding hers up.
Yes. In my cup, I have a turmeric, ginger, pineapple, and pumpkin tea.
You are fancy, Miss Debra.
Yes.
I love it. Why do you have that mix? What do you like about it?
Well, I have a bit of vitamin C in there, and the turmeric has anti-inflammatory.
It does.
And then the pumpkin tea as well, give it that little nice vitamin C. So I quite like that combination of tea, and it's natural.
Yes.
Yeah. My tea doesn't come from a sack. It comes from my garden.
Outside, exactly, which is where it should be from.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that with us. And what about you, Simone?
Well, unfortunately, I don't have a cup.
Oh, man.
So I apologize for that.
It's okay. You'll be better prepared when you're a guest next time.
Yes, yeah. But I did have a bowl earlier on.
Oh, yes.
A bowl with some oats and seeds, sunflower seeds and goji berries.
Right.
A little shake of cinnamon and a little shake of clove, powder.
So you're also into your natural, healthy foods.
For health reasons, yes. I've had to change up my, diet a bit. So I used to try to consume a lot of, oats and seeds and nuts and that kind of stuff and berries as much as I can. For health purposes, nice. Yes. So
I love it.
Keeps down the cholesterol and the blood pressure and everything generally. Yes.
Okay, awesome. Could you tell us why you all chose the topic of emotional intelligence today?
Emotional intelligence, wow. Even as adults, as we go through life, there really are different stages, and phases that you go through. And, they said age brings wisdom. And I'm realizing that the older you get, the wiser that you get. And as you go through certain stages of your life, you need to be aware, of your emotions because sometimes you're going through something and you're not even aware that you're actually going through, you know, a different stage of your life. So for us as adults, I think we struggle. So I can't even imagine for, you know, young girls, you know, preteens, teens, you know, these are new experiences for them, you know, coming into puberty, learning about, you know, relationships, you know, just generally dealing with classmates, friends, coming into, you know, boyfriend, girlfriend relationships and that kind of stuff. And it must be a very confusing time, I think. So I just think it's really important to, you know, equip them with the tools to be able to cope with life and with relationships. And it really starts with you, with understanding yourself, your emotions, how you feel, why you feel, you know, the way that you feel, you know, what situations bring on certain feelings, so you know what to avoid, etc., and how to, you know, manage and how to handle the emotions. Because most of the times that's the problem. We're not able to really assess, you know, what we're going through and know how to handle it. And we handle it in the wrong way. And then it has consequences both for us and the people around us. And sometimes these are consequences that, you know, you can't take back because maybe you've said something or done something that has, you know, deeply hurt someone else. So I just think it's really important, you know.
I agree with you 100%. Couldn't have gotten anything better than that. Ms. Debra, you wanted to add anything to that? Or you muted?
Yes, I do 100% echo Ms. Claxton sentiments on emotional intelligence, and it's the ability to, as you were saying, is empathy, walking in somebody's shoes, rather than just saying, you know, sympathetically, I'm sorry. It's just trying, you know, to walk in that person's shoes and feel what they're feeling, and letting them know that you're there for them. You know, that is what it is about in a nutshell, that you're there for them and you're understanding, you know, what they're going through. That's it, basically, that ability to tune into people's feelings and emotion and just become them, and knowing that you and them, you're one. We're just one body and one spirit. And when they're hurting, you're hurting too.
I think that's beautiful hearing from both of you. So thank you for that. And for the young ladies who are, you know, viewing this episode, I think it's important for them to really hear that as well. And some people might ask, well, what is the purpose of it? You know, so what if I am able to empathize with somebody else, or if I'm able to regulate my emotions? What difference does it make? Well, if you can't have good interpersonal relationships, then it's going to be really difficult for you to manage your life. You're not going to be able to forge connections. You're not going to be able to have a good working relationship with your coworkers, which is why, if you all didn't know, they put you all into groups, okay, in school for group projects, because they want you all to be able to learn how to deal with others, even if you may not necessarily like somebody. How are you going to manage your emotions when you have a goal, when you have a project, when you have a deadline to meet? Because that also impacts you. If you're unable to work with this person, then it's going to impact your grade, right? So being able to have good interpersonal skills, being able to develop within yourself positive ways and means of handling yourself, even if that's not the background you come from. So a lot of us, we may come from environments where speaking openly about your emotions is not encouraged, right? Or it's not something that you learned. And so then you go into another situation with friendships or even with romantic relationships, and then you don't know how to do that, right? Or you don't know how to do it properly. And sometimes our excuse is, well, I never learned that, or nobody ever showed me how. But if you're willing to take it upon yourself, and part of emotional intelligence is actually motivation, right? So if you have a purpose, something to motivate you to say, you know what, I need to do better, and this is why, it's going to help you get further in life. You won't be able to just say, well, I never learned that and leave it alone. You're motivated to develop yourself to become the best version of you possible, which is also part of emotional intelligence, right? Now we have two parts of us. We have logic and we have emotions. So some of us tend to land more on the logical, rational side, you know, 1 and 1 equals 2, and that's all there is to it. And then some of us land more on the emotional side, where we're like, you know, well, if you put the 1 next to the other one, then it could be 11, you know, and you have a different way of viewing things. And some of us have a pretty good balance, right? So the aim is also to learn and grow in the way where you may not necessarily be as strong, but not to lose the place that you have the strength, right? So I am definitely more of an emotionally in tune person. I think logic and rational, while I do have that, it's not necessarily the stronger of the two for me. And I think that's okay. And some people might try to say, well, you know, that makes you weak or vulnerable if you're only in touch with your emotions. But it takes a lot of strength to be able to express your emotions. It takes a lot of vulnerability to be able to do that. And that's not necessarily something that is encouraged, because nobody wants to get hurt. Right? So self-preservation is the name of the game for a lot of us. But sometimes we might figure out, if we are able to properly assess the risk and we say, you know what, this might be so bad if I open up to this particular person, then number one, you know, you have the capacity to do it. And then number two, you learn to do that a little bit more in a way that's safe for both you and the other person. Right? So we want to remember that as we move forward with regards to emotional intelligence. So if there's anything I did not touch on, Ricardo, that you would like me to touch on.
No, you did excellent as always. Again, there's a reason that you are achieving the things that you are achieving, and that the opportunities that are ahead of you are there. It is because you are aware of the fact that I have strengths, but they are not my identity.
Yes.
The things that I want to work on are also a contributor. The things that I have to learn from other people, the things that I have to learn to navigate even when they are not mine. It is the reason that people trust you with their time and their life experiences and their weakness.
And we thank God for that. You know, we do thank God for that. And, you know, sometimes I think it's also good to give some real life examples. So, well, not real life, but things that you can identify with. I don't know how many of the girls look at the television show Big Bang Theory. It's one of my favorites, but if any of you look at it, Sheldon from Big Bang Theory is a perfect example of somebody who is very intelligent in the sense of IQ, but not emotionally intelligent in the sense of EQ, right? So they had to teach him a lot of things. He wasn't able to recognize certain facial cues. He didn't understand sarcasm, you know, in terms of openly demonstrating emotions and love. Those were things that he would have learned as the seasons went by. So you can be super smart, getting really great grades, doing the best that you can in your schoolwork, etc., but still not necessarily have a high degree of emotional intelligence, right? So everybody should try to get that in balance as much as possible. It won't always be perfect, and we will also fall short. I still have to work on my patience as much as I am in a field which requires oodles of it. But it just goes to show you never stop learning, and there's always something new to work on with regard to just self-development. So I think I have a pretty fairly high level of emotional intelligence, but there are still times when I fall short, you know, as we all would at some points in time. So I just want to probably leave you guys with that.
Yeah, so even though you know better, your emotional experience says that you still have to go through, you still have to navigate. Right?
Yes, I have to learn so that I could do better.
Yeah. But J'elle, I know sadly you have to leave because you know duty calls. One last question before you go. It would be very emotionally unintelligent of me to have had you ask other people what's in their cups.
Right.
And we didn't take the time to reciprocate by asking you, well, J'elle, what's in your cup?
This is a true story. So actually, I don't have a cup right now. Me and Miss Simone in the same boat. I would have had a smoothie earlier on, like Miss Simone and Miss Debra. I'm trying to live that natural life and increase or rather improve my health. So I would have had that for breakfast with an chocolate chip oat muffin, and now I'm just having some water, as horrible as it tastes. I don't like water, girls, but I drink it because apparently it has to keep us alive or something. So drink water. Don't be like me. Drink plenty of water. So
you can just have flavor the water, put a piece of lime in it or a piece of ginger.
When I do that, then I just want to either make juice or tea. Doesn't work.
Oh, peppermint. Okay.
Yeah, if I put peppermint or ginger in my water, it's going to be tea. If I put lime, it's going to be juice. But I'm working on it. Right. So thank you all so much for having me. I'm sorry I couldn't stay for the entire thing. But duty calls.
Yeah. Well, J'elle, I would like to extend an invitation to have you back with us in the next semester where we could sit and flesh out a whole episode, get you interactive with some of the girls themselves.
Yes, I'd love to be here for a longer time and chat with some of the girls. I don't know if any of them have any questions for me before I leave. If you don't want to unmute your mic and say it, you can type it in the chat. That's fine too.
Right, girls, now is the time. We have another minute or so with J'elle. So please type your questions in the chat. If there's anything that you would like to ask her. Make use of her expertise while she's
I have
here.
a question.
Yes,
Yes,
Ariana.
Ariana?
My question is, what is an emotional intelligence person?
So you want to know what somebody who's emotionally intelligent looks like?
Yes.
Right. So somebody who's able to recognize what they feel. So what your emotions are, if you're happy, if you're sad, if you're upset, if you're jealous, being able to recognize that for yourself. So what it looks like in you, but also what it looks like in other people. So you're able to identify the emotions in other people. You're able to regulate your emotions, which means that you're able to use your emotions in context with regards to whatever the situation is. So let's say somebody takes something from you that doesn't belong to them in school, like just randomly takes up your pencil. The appropriate emotional response would not to be to cuss them out, right? Because that would be going from 0 to 100 real quick. So an emotionally intelligent person would be able to say, hey, that's not right. I am, even though they feel angry or they're upset, they're able to ensure that they manage that anger in a responsible way, right? So being emotionally intelligent also looks like making sure you can regulate your emotions properly. It also means being aware of and being empathetic to other people's feelings, right? So seeing somebody else going through something and not only saying, oh gosh, I'm sorry that you have to go through that, but actually trying to put yourself in their shoes. I wonder if this happened to me, how would I feel? And allowing that to kind of dictate how you interact with the person. And, if you're able to help them, if you're able to ask them what they might need and just kind of be there for them. And of course, an emotionally intelligent person is also somebody who's motivated to learn more, to do better, and to work on strengthening their relationships with other people. Does that answer your questions?
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you. Any other questions?
I see Vincelyn has her hand up, but before we take Vincelyn's question, J'elle, I know you have to leave. Do you trust us to continue taking questions on your behalf?
That's fine. That's absolutely fine. I was actually going to suggest that too.
Okay, great.
Right?
But what I will also do is I will make a record of the conversation, and maybe you and I could sit down and have a chit chat one of these days, and maybe even have some of the girls from Sapphire Miriam chit chat with us.
That would be cool.
That would be
open
cool.
To that.
All
Yeah.
right. So thank you very much. We'll take Vincelyn's question, but J'elle, I appreciate you being here, and
no problem.
Have a great session. Have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, girls, I look forward to getting all your questions and hopefully sending some responses to them, okay?
Thank you.
Okay, take care, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
So Vincelyn, if you want to unmute.
Go ahead, Vincelyn.
How can someone strengthen emotional intelligence?
Ooh, that is a very good question.
How to strengthen?
How to strengthen your emotional intelligence. Now, I will give you the answer that worked for me. When I was very young, they keep telling me that it's not what I'm doing, it's how I'm doing it. It is not what I'm saying, it's how I'm saying it. So for me to strengthen my emotional intelligence, I had to learn how to listen to other people. I had to learn how to listen to other people's feelings. I had to learn how to listen to other people's experiences. Because when you listen to other people's experiences, you learn their language. You learn what upsets them. You learn what makes them calm. You learn what makes them sad. You learn what makes them happy. And by learning to listen to other people, you start communicating with them in a way that makes them feel that you hear them and you understand them. the most important tool in developing your emotional intelligence is learning to listen to others. In listening to others, we sometimes get to see things about ourselves that are a little confusing. I don't know why I'm feeling this way. I don't know what I'm thinking. I don't know what I'm doing. But in listening to someone, you get a better reflection of it. It's like two people holding up a light instead of just one. When you learn to listen and legitimately, honestly listen, you hear two things: what the person is saying and what the person is not saying. Emotional intelligence, to become more emotionally intelligent, you have to understand that this is not just my experience. There is another experience that is going on around me. It's like two people walking into a dark room. If you're holding someone's hand, the room is still as dark as it is, but you feel better knowing someone else is there. Knowing that someone else is there means I can trust that if I miss something, the other person might pick it up. It means that if I have something to say, there is someone to listen. To become more emotionally intelligent, we have to be more conscious of others. If you are conscious of yourself, you are self-aware, and that is a very good thing to be. But emotional intelligence is not just being self-aware, it is about being aware of others. So the best tool I would give somebody who wants to become more emotionally intelligent is to listen to others. Even if you don't agree with them, sometimes you don't like what they're saying, but you have to learn to listen to others, because other people's experiences are as real and valid to them as yours is to you. So that would be my advice. The first step, and personally, the most important step in developing my emotional intelligence was listening, really listening, because then you'd realize there are also things this person is not saying. And when you realize somebody is not saying something, then you have an idea of the type of question to ask. I know what to ask about based on what you said or what you didn't say, but I would only know that if I listened. So yeah, that's me there. I don't know if anybody else on the panel, Debra, see if unmuted.
Very good, Ricardo. You know what? The Creator has given us 2 ears and 1 mouth for a big reason. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen more and talk less. You know, and when we do that, we will see the world from a different perspective, a different view, and we'll get so much insight by listening more, not listening and attaching outcomes we want to it, but really listen. And as you said, listen for what even you did not hear. The body symbols, the nonverbal communication. But I always like to share stories. And when I share stories, you can really understand even more real life story. In July, I was with my mom in St. Lucia for her birthday. I make a pledge to celebrate her birthday every year. Anyway, we had a 3-way call. My brother called in from the States, and we had another call with his girlfriend. And my mom was like saying, well, everybody give me a present. That one send me Western Union, this one send me Western Union, money. And my brother, he was on the conversation and he was like, wow, you don't love me, blah, blah, you treat me. And he was mad because he did not send her money. His emotions was all over the place. So I want to pose to the children, what do you think my brother should have done in that situation? He was mad, he was livid, you know, he was upset. My mom was very defensive. She's like, oh, well, I was just saying what the other children gave me. I was just saying what the other children gave me. And then he did not, for months, he would not speak to my mom. His emotion was so high, he was so upset. How do you think you will tackle that situation? What would you do if you're in that situation? Open the floor to anybody. What would you tell my brother? What would you tell my mother?
Come on, ladies, this is a good time to start to practice your skills of being emotionally intelligent. understanding other people.
And I see Simaja put a very good question. How do you control your emotions? I mean, this is all leading up to that question. How do you really control? We have situations, and how you will learn this is by practical situations. That is how. Oh, Vincent want to have a go. Very good.
To control my emotions, I would relax and feel calm.
Yes, relaxing is good. You do some relaxation and you do a deep breathing, you know, and this deep breath, you know, you connect into the breath, and this will help to slow down the mind and ease up, you know, slow down the mind basically and help you to relax. So yes, relaxation is very good. So breathing, what are the things you can do for relaxation? To relax yourself.
Listening to music is, you know, one as well. Princess says drinking water. Yes.
Well, there's a famous song, "Drink my water and mind my business."
You know,
the calypso.
Yes.
If I could take a swing at this, I want to actually answer your question, Deborah, and tie in what Samaya's asking.
Yes.
Now, we're looking at this from the emotional intelligence perspective.
Very good. Yes.
Right. The first thing is to recognize what emotions are involved in this situation. That is the first step. So now, having listened to your brother and listened to your mom, I have to recognize your mother was sharing what the others did. She was excited about it. She was glad. She was, you know, I feel recognized by what they did, and I'm sharing this feeling. Your brother felt ignored because he didn't do what they did. And because he felt ignored, he felt diminished. He felt ashamed. He felt less than. So recognizing that one person is feeling joy, but the other person is feeling embarrassed, I have to figure out now, how am I going to manage these two conflicting emotions? So to mom, I would be like, Mom, that was good of you, and I'm glad that you're excited, and I'm glad that you feel this way. But maybe you could have mentioned the time that my brother took to call. You could have mentioned the fact that, you know, he didn't send anything, you know, but he normally does this, that, or the other. So you show that even if in this situation, he did not do what you did, it is not that he has been inactive or inattentive, or because he didn't do what you did is less than. The brother, you could say, listen, I understand that you're feeling upset, but mom wasn't trying to make you out. She wasn't trying to embarrass you, right? She was just glad because this is what she got. And if you were feeling upset about it, which we understand, you didn't have to get on like that on her birthday call. You know, you could have excused yourself, you could have said you have to leave, and then we could have spoken about it afterwards. But we didn't have to take away from it being her birthday because you were upset by something she did. Or you could have said, oh gosh, mommy, I ain't like how you do me that. And then said for yourself.
And his girlfriend was present on the call as well.
Right. So he displayed a behavior that maybe wasn't the best presentation of himself, but he could have communicated how he felt without the emotion taking over the situation. The thing with controlling emotions, as Samaya asked, and I see Commissioner Cole put up a very valid point just now about meditation. Meditation, emptying the mind of negative thoughts, is very calming, as well as walking along the seashore. Yes, she's correct, because those things actually practice what we spoke about before. These are grounding techniques. These are things where we engage the environment to remind ourselves of where we currently are. Yes, I am mad that mommy embarrassed me. But you know what? I am in a call with mommy. I am in a call with my family. Today is her birthday. This is where I am. This is what I am feeling. am I going to ruin that because of how I'm feeling? Or am I going to process how I'm feeling and then find a way to properly manage it? So controlling your emotions, first and foremost, is about recognizing them. I have been in many conversations where people are having emotional reactions. And if you ask them why, they're not quite sure what exactly about it upset them, they just know that they are upset. So sometimes the first thing to do to ask yourself is, why am I feeling this way? If I'm running down the hall and I bounce my toe, when you bounce just the edge of your toe on the edge of the chair, your whole body will stop. Your whole body will stop. But you know what happened. Sometimes you're minding your business, going your way, and then you start to feel something, but you don't know what happened. So you will blame the first thing that comes up. I don't like how she talked to me. He didn't have to get on so. But here the catch. If I'm holding this bottle, and I shake up this bottle, and water comes out of this bottle, it is because water is in this bottle. Me shaking only exposed what was already there. How do I learn to control my emotions? Ask myself, what is going on inside me? If I'm having a bad day, if I'm already having a bad day, somebody is more likely to upset me. But that is not the person's fault and it's not what they did. It is how I'm already feeling. But because I can't recognize it and express it, I will use whatever becomes available and say, this is what caused it. It may not have caused it, it may have exposed it. And if it exposed something that is bad, then it did you a favor. If it exposed something that is good, then it did you a favor. Our feelings are not things to be controlled as much as they are things to be managed. Now, there's a very, very delicate difference here. There's a very delicate difference. To control something means that you have ownership of it. It does what you says. To manage something means that you learn to work with it and to use it as best as you can. But it will exist with or without your permission. If I control something, then I could make it disappear. Your feelings don't work like that. If I manage something, then I know what to do with it. So to control emotions, I would say first and foremost, let's try to manage our emotions because we're going to have them. We're going to have them anyway. So let's use the example that Debra gave us. There was a difference in her mom's feelings and her brother's feelings. They were all legitimate feelings based on what they experienced. Telling the brother, don't be vexed, doesn't make sense because he is vexed for a reason. Telling your mom, don't be excited, doesn't make sense because she is excited for a reason. Managing those feelings are saying, I understand that you're vexed. Does it make sense staying vexed? Does it make sense taking this vex that you're vexed and using it to contaminate everybody else's feelings? It says, looking at mom, I know you're excited, but in your excitement, be mindful of that there are other people here who might not be as excited about what it is you're doing. To control your emotions, which I find don't really exist, to manage your emotions is to figure out what they are, how big they are, and what best to do with them. Stifling them, pushing them all the way down inside is not controlling. That is the type of thing that leads you to have to see J'elle as a therapist or to see Debbie as a therapist, because a lot of the times therapy is about addressing things that are unaddressed. Controlling emotions, managing emotions, having a high emotional intelligence is about recognizing the feeling, acknowledging that it has a right to exist, and then deciding what to do with it. The best way to do that sometimes is to slow down, take a deep breath, take a walk. There are times where people quarreling and I just walk off and go to the fridge and I grab myself some water, because while I'm drinking this water, I can't answer you. If my mouth full, I can't answer you. It had times I drink 2-liter bottle of water just because better I don't answer you yet. Sometimes you might not be able to walk away and you have to stop and you have to do a little internal box breathing. A little 1, 2, 3, 4 count, a little deep breath and an exhale. But some people might watch your body language and say you're huffing and you're puffing. Then being accused of something, you could say, no, it's not that. I don't like how I'm feeling and I'm just trying to calm down. Acknowledge the feeling, acknowledge that it has a right to exist, but decide. A very quick way is to practice the pause. Take a second. Just take a second. Why am I feeling like this? And then decide. It's a very difficult thing to just express in a quick 2-hour session on a morning, but it's the type of thing that if we tell you about it now, you will start to see the opportunity for it pop up in other conversations or other confrontations, or just in listening to other people talk. But it's not so much about controlling the emotion as managing. It's not about stopping it from happening. It's not about saying it don't make sense. It's about looking at why it exists and then deciding what to do with it. Your feelings, and here's the trick, and this is my last point here so that we could go into a little game and a little breakout room. But I'm gonna ask you guys a question. We talk about having 5 senses. Can you guys tell me what those 5 senses are? You could either unmute and answer, or you could type them in the chat. Anybody know what the 5 senses are?
The 5 senses are taste, smell, hear, touch, and see.
And see.
And see.
Great teamwork, guys. Taste, touch, smell, hear, and see. And all of those things tell us what's going on outside of your body. I could feel this pillow on my lap. I could taste my water. I could see the light. I could smell cologne. I could hear my AC. Those are things that are going on outside of me. Tell me which of those senses will let me know that I'm happy. Which one of those senses will let me know that I am scared?
None of the above.
Correct is right, Ariana. Because those senses are physical senses. But there's a whole world going on inside of me. There's a whole world going on inside of all of us. And our feelings are the senses that tell us what is going on inside. Our feelings are the senses. Listen, if I go in the kitchen and it have a hot pot on the stove and I pick up that hot pot with my bare hands, I will get burned. As I get closer to the pot, I'll start to feel the heat. My eyes might see the fire. It might see the water bubbling. It might see the smoke. I might smell the pot burning. I might hear the little tss when the water run off the side of the pot and hit the fire. My senses will tell me there is danger. But when I feel afraid, it is because fear is telling me inside that there is danger. all those other senses tell me what I'm seeing, what I'm hearing, what I'm smelling, what I'm feeling. That is all that is, you know. They just tell me what it is, but the feeling tells me how to feel about it, what to do about it. How do I go about managing the fact that something has changed? Somebody says a joke and you hear it and it's funny, but what makes you laugh? The feeling inside, because you know it have to come out. You ever try to hold back a laugh? You're in class and somebody says something funny. You're in church or temple and somebody says something funny, and you fighting to hold this thing inside because it there and it want to come out. Your feelings tell us that something is going on inside. Your feelings are your next sense. So imagine me saying, I don't like seeing, you know, and I do so. I just make my life plenty harder. Not impossible, just harder. Imagine I say to myself, I don't like what I'm hearing, you know, so I plug up my ears. I just make my life harder. Imagine having feelings and saying, I don't like having feelings, you know. I just make my life harder. Your feelings are a sense of something going on inside. So it's not something to control, because you can't control your sight. You can't control your hearing. You can't control your smell. These things indicate that things are going on, but you can manage what happens. So when you get a feeling, acknowledge it. Know that it has a right to exist, but then decide what you're going to do about it. I could not touch the pot. I could bounce my toe and then say, wait, I have to move that couch, and then go and bandage my toe. The thing with emotional intelligence is recognizing that these feelings are real, but why are they here and what am I going to do with them? And realizing that everybody else going through that too. So Simone, Debra, thank you for the little window there. I hope that I was able to address a couple talking points.
That was a very good, very good. So basically I said to my brother, you want to be right or you want to have a relationship with mom? Yeah, and he's, what do you want? You want to be right or you want to have a relationship? Mom is 85 years of age. Oh, she doesn't know the control. She mom, he's not sick of me. So now I went to mom in this. I said, Mom, you know your son is sensitive. You know that. And you know, I'm trying to make everybody come together. And she's been reaching out, trying to call him for months, and he hasn't been responding to the call. And I'm back to him, you know, anger is where you at, you know, unforgiveness is like drinking poison and hoping that the other person die. And you know what? You know what happened this week? Major breakthrough. Early morning, my phone ring. He called. He called and we had a long conversation, and his girlfriend texted me, oh, okay, Debra, love, oh, my sweetheart called mom. I said, I know. So finally, everybody came to terms and the emotion got settled and they come together as one, and, you know, and understand with empathy and reaching out with compassion. And, you know, so I just wanted to share that little drama in my family to see how we've dealt with emotion. I haven't given up. My mom didn't really give up on her son. And understanding, walking in everybody's shoes and understanding that in the future, next time, hopefully mom will know how to control her mouth around her son not to get too emotional around his elderly mom.
You know, Debra, thanks so much for sharing this experience. And Ricardo, you were spot on, I'm telling you, with dealing with this. Yes. I think this situation, it shows us so much. There's so many different angles. There's a slightly, you know, different angle that I would like to look at it from, in the sense that, Debra, you mentioned that his girlfriend was on the call, right? And we look at it from, okay, a mother and son, you know, type of relationship, which should not have taken place, you know. You just want to be, you know, right, as opposed to trying to facilitate the feelings of an 85-year-old woman who is your mother, you know, which should have taken precedence over, you know, your egotistic type of, you know, emotions. But, you know, the girls, you know, they want to know how to recognize somebody who's emotionally intelligent, what emotional intelligence looks like in people. And I think this is a classic example. And looking at it from another angle, he said his girlfriend's on the call. And if we look at it from the perspective of a woman, as a young woman, looking for someone to date or to court, right? And you come across a gentleman who is not a teenager, but, you know, a big man, and straight away that shows, you know, he's not emotionally intelligent, because he would have assessed the situation, put aside his, you know, ego, and said, you know, this is my mom, this is her birthday, let me make it pleasant. You know, she's already elderly, you know, you want her to have wonderful memories, as opposed to this is me, you know, this is how I feel, and it takes precedence over everything else. And I think as it brings to mind, as young ladies, the girlfriend should have been looking on at what type of relationship is she going to have with a guy who, you know, is treating his mom like that, who's not showing emotional intelligence. And I think as young women, we need to be more in tune some of those red flags, because sometimes we're so involved and we're so tied up, you know, romantically and, you know, feelings and everything, that we bypass these things. And we say, that's the family, you know. But when you get involved with that person later on, that tends to come towards you, because you now become, you know, the family. And if someone is acting so, you know, emotionally unintelligent with their own mother, their own family, and, you know, not wanting to speak and holding that type of grudge, it tells a lot about them, in the sense that if I get involved with this person, I am going to have similar interactions as well, because eventually he will end up treating his girlfriend and his wife just like that. So you sort of assess as a young lady, is this something that I really want? Is this the way that I want to be treated? Because if he can treat X, Y, Z like that, then he can treat me like that. And it sort of helps inform you of your decisions going forward, and not just making decisions out of, you know, the person's good looking, or he has a lot of money, you know, or he's, you know, saying that he loves me. But you're looking at it from another point of view, showing, you know, how they treat persons, how they react, you know, the emotional intelligence. And based on that now, because if it is that you go into that situation, you will soon find that the same distress and the heartache that the gentleman's mother was going through, or his sister, which is you, Debra, that you all were going through, the family was going through, is the same heartache that you as a girlfriend or the wife will be going through in time to come. And all the pleasure and the joy and the love and everything will soon turn into a lot of heartache. Young women don't realize that. And we put ourselves in situations as women and we think, yeah, you know, this is the reason why I'm in this. And we justify everything. And when it comes down to someone who is not emotionally intelligent, it is very hard, you know, rending and heartbreaking experience to really have to live through that, you know, and go through experiences with that person, because they are not, you know, in tune with what's going on with others, how others feel. They're only in tune with themselves. So they're thinking, this is how I feel, you know, so I am justified, and, you know, person should give in to me. But they're not thinking, well, how is my 85-year-old mom feeling? How is my sister feeling? You know, how has this impacted everybody else in the family? How is this impacting everybody else? If I don't speak, if I hold a grudge, they're not thinking like that. And emotionally, you know, unintelligent persons, they do not think about other people. They think about themselves. They don't consider the feelings of others. And eventually you will fall into that as a young lady, as a girlfriend, as the wife, etc. And it's going to be, you know, more, you know, heart-rending, heartbreaking than pleasure at the end of the day. So that is my contribution, looking at it from another angle. I don't know what you all think, you know, about it, if you all share my view or if I'm being biased or anything like that. But, you know, talking from experience, you know, definitely.
Definitely. Very practical point of view, Simone, looking from the girlfriend perspective. You know, that's very good perspective. But I just, Ricardo did mention something about you lashing out on somebody, but it's not about that person. It's just something that happened. You know, maybe you stress about some homework you have to present or some project. You just stress about that, but the person just appear and you just lash out on them. So 99% of the time, people lashing out about you, is nothing to do with you. My brother is extremely stressed and angry person because he has a lot of financial stress. He has 2 properties he's managing. He's under a lot of stress. So anything can just, as Ricardo was saying, anything can trigger it. As you said, you had that bottle, and if you squeeze that bottle, water will come out because that is what's in the bottle. And as emotionally intelligent people, we have to understand and stop making it personal when somebody attacks us. That is not about us. Yeah, I will give you a quick scenario where emotional intelligence was used with one of my clients. He was in Roseau, and then this bus driver just went, attack him. Oh, you white monkey. And, was just livid. So my client, because we practice emotional intelligence, we practice different things. And his response was, I love you, brother. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. What's up, brother? How can I help? And that diffused the situation. The audience was just smiling, was just taken aback. The whole energy just changed. The energy just changed just because of that simple reaction of love and understanding, knowing that it's not about you. That bus driver, he's probably having a bad day. Maybe his wife is sick, his child is blah, 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 and he was just having a hard day. So my client knew that because of our practice. So he decided to respond with love and compassion. And if we can and it's just, when you do that, you just, one session ago, I talked about gaining light. That's opportunity to gain more light. You become more luminous, so as you go through day-to-day life, you have many opportunities to grow more light and to spread light and love by doing this simple little practice, by choosing consciously how you're going to be reacting and how, you're walking in that person's shoes, and with compassion and with love, you can just change the situation because you're responsible for the person feeling as well as yours. And that is what emotional intelligence is about, isn't it? Children, girls, gems. Let me get your take on this.
Yes, ladies, come on, now is your time. Any questions or any comments? To be honest, I think this is really the most important topic. You wouldn't believe. Serious. Because if we don't master this, we just can't
master
get
life.
life.
You master this, you master life. This is it.
Yeah, this is it.
This is it.
This is the most important topic, to be honest, out of this whole, all these sessions. I think this is the most important topic. Because if you do not master, your emotions, the way that you feel, the way that you manage your emotions and people around you, man, you can't have a good life. You can't. You can't, honestly.
The ultimate thing is happiness. Is to create happiness and joy around you and for everybody. That's why we're here on this planet. We're here, as spiritual being having a human experience. That is what it's all about. And it's just that short human experience is just fit to be a joyous one. That's it.
True. Come on, ladies, let's have your contribution. Any questions?
Let's have your contribution. Let's have your take on this. What you picked up so far. What you're going to be taking away with you.
I hope that you're all clearer now on, what are some of the characteristics of an emotionally intelligent person, what emotional intelligence looks like, how you can start to practice it, right? And it all comes from gaining information. As Ricardo said, listening is key. Not only listening but to other persons around you, but also listening to information, in the sense that you go onto YouTube instead of watching something, else, you look at some documentary or some information on emotional intelligence, on how to manage your feelings, and you do some reading, try and gain as much information as you can now, right? And the information will be based on other people's experience, right? Experience is the greatest teacher. So you're gaining experience through other person's experiences, right? Not only your own, but trying to gain as much information as you can now so that you will be able to navigate your emotions and that, of those around you.
If sorry, Simone,
Yeah.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
Now, there's something I want to point out for the people who look at Japanese anime. A lot of the reasons that Japanese anime is such a hugely popular genre is because they spend a lot of time on character development and backstory. They spend a lot of time making sure that you get involved in the character, making sure that you get involved in who the nemesis is, making sure you get involved in the story of why this person acts this way. A lot of the times, it's not as many fight scenes as you would think. There's a lot of dialogue that goes on and a lot of backstory and a lot of narrative to help you flesh out why I should care about this character, why I should care about this story. We can't do that in real life. We could listen to the conversations people are having and try to learn what the character is, what the backstory is, what the narrative is, what arc they are on, which is why they might be getting on the way they're getting on. A very important tool that Debra presented just now through her client was one, this man processed that this situation isn't about me, but something about me being here triggered it. So here's what we're going to do. Brother, I love you. I'm sorry, because even if it's not my fault, I triggered. Are you okay? What's going on with you? What's happening? No, I will tell you from the time you start asking people what's going on with you is a coin tosser. I'm not saying that everybody going to just, you know what, this person cares about my well-being. I'm going to open up and be nice. A lot of the times people like to defend the bad position and not breaks in. Y'all are getting old enough now to start to realize that a lot of people don't play by the right rules. So I will ask people, hey, yo, I hearing you. What's going on? Oh, ting, 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 and tra-la-la. Listen, I'm not telling you that you shouldn't feel how you're feeling, I'm asking you what is going on with you. That's something that might be a 1, have you having a 25 experience out of 10, Anytime you ask somebody, what's going on? Why are you feeling like this? Are you okay? Is not a guarantee that they're going to respond with love. Because the place that they are in emotionally might be, as J'elle said earlier, self-preservation. I feeling how I feeling, and I going to continue feeling this way because this is where I am right now. And if I look to backpedal, that mean I was wrong. And if I look to dial it down, it mean a week. So people take bad stances. In Trinidad, we call it wrong and strong. And everybody have some wrong and strong. It doesn't matter if they're older than you, more experience, more responsibility, more money, more whatever. Everybody have the wrong and strong areas. You could only do what you could do. In terms of the example of the young lady, the brother's girlfriend being on the call, she had 2 choices there. Well, maybe more than 2, but we're going to narrow it down to 2 for now. She could have recognized that there's a reason he is behaving like this and continued, babe, maybe you should have, or reaching out to the support system and continuing to communicate, because emotional intelligence in this will tell you, while he did not have to behave that way, there is a reason he behaved that way. The difference in this was that he was willing eventually to do better. Not every time you see somebody have a bad display, it automatically means cut them off and move on. Because that is not emotional maturity. That is not emotional intelligence. That is still just a reaction. But don't stop and keep making excuses for people who choosing to stay in that place, who choosing to make the bad decision, who choosing to make the bad display, and unwilling to work past the reason they're feeling like that. So I've taken a little bit of it from the both sides. I could understand why she stayed and continued working through the process with him, but I could also say I understand why seeing a red flag is more than enough reason to throw. What I'm saying is that people choose, whether they know it or not, they're making choices. Emotional intelligence is about looking at why they're making these choices and is there anything that could be done about it. But I could have all the emotional intelligence in the world. Is somebody else making their choices, you know? So you have to combine a little bit of the self-preservation with a little bit of the empathy. And I will use a scriptural reference. Jesus was talking to crowds, and at that time the crowd started to turn on him. And he said he's not looking for all that action, and he slipped out through the crowd. Because it's not every situation to engage, and it's not every situation you could do anything about. So emotional intelligence is not just the what am I feeling, how am I, what to do with this feeling, but whether or not I should do anything about it at all. Debra was right. You could be right about how you're feeling, or you could have a relationship with your mom. But this is advanced levels of intelligence. What we're saying is that as you practice things, more options come available to you. But I good there. I just saying that be mindful of your internal and your external environment. And be mindful of the fact that not everybody is going to be as receptive as you are intending. If you find mommy quarreling, daddy come home kind of gruff, you could tell them, when you could be quarreling with me, you know, go and make up your bed. How much times I'll tell you go and do your homework? You still that TV still on? I tell you come off the tablet. If you know you're doing the wrong thing, fine. But if you realize it's just one of those days where I find mommy moving a kind of how, you could be like, mommy, I understand I didn't wash the wares yet, but you okay? Daddy, I realized I come home late and I didn't do what I was supposed to do. Sorry. You okay? Not in a, well, the reason you're getting on like that is your fault, you know. But from a, hey, I will acknowledge where I was wrong. And I still care about you enough to find out how you're doing. Sometimes it will diffuse the situation. Asking somebody if they are okay. Is there anything I could help you with? They might both fear. Yes, help me by going and washing the blasted wares. But then they might also stop and say to themselves, even if they don't say it to you, oh gosh, you know, I really talk to the child kind of rough, you know. She don't know that we late on rent. She don't know that T and Tech, well, the lights, the Nelly cut the lights this morning. She don't know is borrow, I have to borrow money to send her to school. All I asking her to do is her homework, you know. She don't know how much I sacrificing for her to go to school. And she playing the fool in class. And I had to come to class now because she ain't listening. I going through all of the sacrifice to give her opportunity and she playing the fool with this child don't know that this is what it is you dealing with. What I'm saying is the young ladies, y'all don't know what your parents dealing with. Sometimes you do, unfortunately. But you could show compassion to your parents too, you know, to your guardians, to your teachers. Oh gosh, all it's 30 of us in this class. Let me give Miss a break now. She had a quarrel with everybody all the time. What I mean is, you have the opportunities right now in your lives to practice some emotional intelligence by thinking about the other people around you. And while it might be hard to do, and I could give you all the neurological and biological reasons why your frontal cortex not properly developed yet and all that, I ain't going through that. What I'm saying is that y'all are a different generation. Y'all are a different generation. Y'all making and breaking rules as you see fit. Doing better could be a rule, you know. And you could set it for yourself from now. So we're not telling you how to live and what to do, you know. We're just trying to give all you more tools, more senses, so that by managing these tools, you'll have better options than we had, than your parents had. But that's me there, I good.
Thanks so much, Ricardo. Wow, we could go on and on. I'm telling you, this topic never ends. Ladies,
one thing I want to add: when you are wrong, there's no need to defend yourself. As Ricardo was saying, there's no need to defend yourself. You know, you can just say, you know, I'm sorry. It's okay to say I'm sorry. You know, and what can I do to make a difference? What can I do to make up for my shortcomings? You know, it doesn't show that you're weak. you know, when you say that you're sorry, and you just don't have to look for every excuse to bring up a defense, because doing a defense is just showing a sign of weakness. When you have to look into getting a defense for a situation that you've done, it just shows a sign for weakness. It shows a sign of maturity when you can come up and admit, put your hand up, I'm at fault and I'm sorry, I'm here for you, how can I help? Yeah, very good.
Thanks.
So we're gonna have some questions from the ladies now, and interaction and.
Yes, guys, now it's question time.
What are
you? Clara. So
I see Princess post in the chat, when you're in a heated situation, you can leave and then come back. Give yourself time. Time is very good.
Yeah.
Time is precious.
That's great.
One of the thing when it comes to emotion, I like to give this analogy to my clients. One of the clients, she said to me, my dad is just a pain and blah blah, and she wasn't having a good relationship. So I use this analogy, and she said to me, that's the best lesson anybody has ever given to her in her life. This analogy is the teeth and the tongue must clash. You know that one, Simone? The teeth and the tongue must clash, because you in such close, the teeth and the tongue is in such close unison, in such close proximity. Yeah. And then when that teeth clamp down on the tongue, it's not intentional, because everything is nerve and nerve ending. And then it just happens that maybe the tongue was just sleeping and was just in the path of the teeth, and the teeth came down. Yeah. But what happened? What will the tongue do? Will the tongue stop cooperating with the teeth and to get the food going so that the food is going down properly into the body? Yeah. What will happen to the body? What will happen to the whole? I mean, we can apply this to the family. What will happen to the whole family? Yeah. So if you were the tongue, what would you do? That's the question. If you were a tongue, what would you do? Come on, girls. Yeah,
Ariana wants to make a contribution or ask a question.
Why is emotional intelligence important in situation?
Why is it important? Right. It's important because we live in a world with other people, and we have to be able to get along and to relate to persons without the teeth and the tongue clashing too much. You know, as Debra said, teeth and tongue will clash, but you know, you don't want it to be clashing every second. So it's about managing, you know, relating to others, because you live in a family and you have to relate to your family. You go to school, you have to relate to your classmates. You go to a job, you have to relate to your co-workers. And it's about being able to live amongst other persons and to relate amongst other persons with as least conflict as possible and in harmony, so that you could be happy and they could be happy as well. So it's very important, emotional intelligence, for living a happy, fulfilled, and a successful life with as less conflict, you know, as possible. That's just my take on it generally, because we don't live alone. We live in a world with other persons, and we have to be able to empathize with them and to be able to relate to their feelings and to act appropriately.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Does that answer your question, Ariana?
Yes.
Okay, great. Anybody else?
I'm curious to find out from Samaya if she feels like I answered, or that we answered her question about controlling your emotions.
Yes, it did help. Yeah. Okay, so she's saying that it helped.
Great. Simone, I know you mentioned earlier there was another game.
Yes, there's another game. So let us get into that.
Well,
right, this one is like I Spy, right? And it's our coping strategies. You can all see the screen here.
Yeah.
Yes,
Nice.
Just want to read out what Commissioner Cole said. She said, change and uncertainty, interactions with colleagues, conflict and relationships, effort and burnout, achievement and failure. Oh, okay. She said something before that too. She's talking about emotional intelligence is essential for leadership effectiveness. That's right. In part, that's because the way a leader makes you feel can impact your engagement as well as your productivity. Emotions can weave through every work situation experience. And she went on to mention the things we said earlier. So she's right, which is what Simone said in the beginning. Her response for me was perfect at we live in a world with other people.
Yes, we have to be able to relate. And especially as a leader, it's even more important because, you know, you're responsible for persons. So you have to know how to deal with people.
Yep. And, everybody says when they get big, they want to have their own business because they want to work for nobody, etc., etc., etc. And they don't like how the boss does talk to. I will tell you, having your own business means you're working for everybody.
Yes.
Because it's other people money that you're trying to get, it's clients you'll be dealing with. So instead of having one boss, you'll have a different boss every week or every month or every hour, as the case may be.
True.
So
you have to relate to everybody.
Even working for yourself means you have to be able to deal with other people.
Yes.
So yeah,
Can't get away from that.
I spy time.
Yes. So I spy coping strategies, right? So this is some coping strategies to cope with the stresses of life. Okay, so let's see. We have to count how many of the coping strategies. So first, let's identify what the coping strategies are, and then we're gonna count. So this first one here, that's like a smile, being, joyful or laughing. How many of those do we see? So let's see who's first to type in the chat. How many of those coping strategies do we see? So name the coping strategy and how many. Okay, so Debra, you can read out the answer in the chat for us. Let's see who answers first.
Ariana on point.
Smiley 6.
The game that we used earlier on and the I Spy is from WholeHearted. WholeHearted School Counseling. We'd like to acknowledge them for the wonderful material that they have. So feel free to go onto their site. And look at all the various resources that they have available. So I'm going to share my screen and we're going to go through the first one. Debra, you want to take the first one for us? I'm going to share my screen. That's the handbook. And you can unmute your mics and we're going to do it as a group. Right, so the first one is to do with being angry, right? It's about our feelings. So a feeling of being upset when you believe something unjust, unfair, or wrong has happened. So I'll leave you with this one, Debra.
So you might feel angry when somebody criticizes you or tells you no. You see someone getting bullied or the other team cheated to help them with the game. Yeah. Clues include a racing heart, flushed face. This is how you identify when somebody's angry. Yeah. Fist clenched, tight jaw, fast breathing, lower eyebrows, feet stomping or yelling. You might also feel mad, upset, annoyed, offended, outraged, disappointed, fearful, frustrated, aggressive, hurt, embarrassed, humiliated, rejected, or confused. What might have happened to make Katie feel angry? What is she thinking? What are the clues? List 3 clues you notice about Katie's body or facial expression that shows she's feeling angry.
Right, ladies, so now is the time, unmute your mics. So what are 3 things that you notice about Katie's body or her expression that tells you that she is angry?
She lowered her eyebrows.
Right. Eyebrows. Like
She clenched her teeth.
Clenched her teeth. Nice. So she lowered her eyebrows, clenched her teeth. What do you think she's thinking right now? What could she be thinking? What goes up in that bubble above her head? What is she thinking? What could be right there?
Probably someone bullied her and she's angry and thinking to take revenge.
Revenge
so
is
what's she
very
thinking?
good.
Why did she bully me?
That was
Princess
a very...
said, why you do that for? She's thinking, why did you do that?
Right.
Katisha said that she noticed that her face was red earlier. And
Flush face.
Flush
But
face.
that revenge response is a very honest, very accurate type of thought. A lot of us, from the time somebody gets us vexed, we want to do them back.
Yes.
We want
Of
to...
course, as Katisha said, vulgar language.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
So what might have happened to make Katie feel angry? So somebody might have bullied her. So she got angry about that, okay? So let's get some responses. When have you felt angry? So let's get a couple of responses in the chat. When you might have felt angry, some instances in your life.
When a boy at my school pushed me on the floor.
Okay. Anybody else would like to share an experience when they got angry?
When someone eats my food.
Oh yeah, that will definitely make me angry. You're looking
When
forward
someone called me false name.
Say that again?
When someone called me false name.
Right, when someone calls you a false name, yes, that will definitely get you angry. Yeah. Right, what about this other feeling? Happy. Okay, so this is a feeling of enjoyment, of satisfaction, pleasure because of your situation. You're sensing that life is good, so you're happy. Okay, you might feel happy when you're playing with your friends or your family, when you're doing something that you enjoy, like you're riding your bike, you're doing your art, baking, right? And when you get something that you want, like you get a new puppy, you get a new toy. So what are some of the clues? Okay, so include you're smiling, your relaxed muscles, your chest feels light and spacious. Are you able to focus and concentrate, right? There's a friendly tone of voice, so your voice changes, your facial expression changes, right? And you're having positive thoughts. So this is a happy feeling. Okay, so you might also feel optimistic, you loved, safe, secure, capable, you're feeling strong, playful, grateful, pleasant. Okay, upbeat and connected. Okay, so what might have happened to make Owen feel happy? So what do you think might have happened to Owen that could make him be feeling so happy?
Probably it was his birthday and his parents got him his new bicycle that he always wanted.
Right, it could be his birthday and he got a new bicycle that he always wanted. So he's feeling really happy. And what clues tells us that he's feeling happy? What are some of the clues?
When my birthday come and my
He's
mom
smiling.
cook something nice.
So let's get Akila.
When is my birthday and my mom cook something nice and bake
Great.
cake and me and my sister and my cousin enjoy and feel happy.
Great. So that's a time that you could feel happy when it's your birthday, you get something nice and special dish, cake, ice cream. That will make you feel happy, right? So what are some of the clues on Owen's face or his body that tells us that he's indeed happy?
He's smiling.
Yeah, big smile on his face.
He's relaxed.
Yeah, he looks relaxed. His hands at the side, looks relaxed. His eyes.
He's having positive thoughts.
Positive thoughts. Yeah, what's he thinking there up in that balloon? What could he be thinking? What could he be thinking in
How
that
can I
balloon?
thank my mother, my parents for giving me the bicycle for my birthday?
Nice.
Gratitude.
Thinking,
That's a nice one.
yeah. Yeah, I'm so grateful that my parents got me this bicycle. Oh, I'm looking forward to going out, and riding my bicycle with my friends. So he could be thinking all those nice things that makes
More
him, you know,
food.
smile.
More food for me.
More food for me.
This week, my husband like, wow, I am feeling happy. I'm feeling like on top of the world. I'm like, what bring that on?
Okay, nice. Great. Different things make different people happy, right?
Yes, I know.
What might make one person happy, you know, might not necessarily make another person happy. So
living the best version of my life ever.
Oh yes. What about this one? Ricardo, you want to take this one? This one is about
sadness. A feeling of pain that comes from loss, helplessness, disappointment, hurt, sorrow, distress, or grief. You might feel sad when a loved one dies, your friend moves away, you feel left out, something that you treasure is broken, lost, or ruined, or someone acts rude or mean. The clues include crying, trembling chin, hunched over posture, low energy, flat voice, or more quiet than normal or withdrawn. You might also feel pain, empty, blue, heartbroken, melancholy, depressed, upset, angry, pensive, or lonely. Sad is a tough feeling to feel, but it deserves to exist just like all the other feelings. And as we could see from the descriptions here, there are very good reasons to be sad. There are very good reasons to be sad, sometimes. Right? So what might have happened to make Jade feel sad? Anybody?
Her parents forgot her birthday.
Oh.
Oh yeah, that's a terrible one.
Mm.
That would really make Jade sad.
Her friends didn't want it to sit buy a lunch for school.
Right, so let's hear that one again.
Did not pass my test.
Oh.
Right. Yeah, if you didn't pass your test in school.
So it says someone in her family passed away.
Her friend moved away and
her friend moved away.
Her friend moved away. Princess said repeat a grade.
Her dog died.
Oh.
Yeah. Yep.
Lots of reasons where it's okay to feel sad because sad things happened. But when have you guys felt sad? I can tell you when I feel sad. Sometimes I feel sad when my football team loses. Sometimes I feel sad when I can't find my wallet or when I open my wallet and it's empty.
True. So true.
Ooh, good one, Princess. That is our next one. I feel sad when no one notices my efforts.
Oh, yeah.
It's like all of this hard work and nobody.
Yeah, that's true. Anybody else wants to share their experience?
I realize everybody talk about why Jade might be sad, but they don't talk about when they're sad.
Sharing our feelings again, yeah.
So you see what I tell you? It's about hearing what people not saying as well.
All right.
But let's work with Jade for now. Oh, there, Samaya. Thank you for sharing that with us when my grandmother passed away.
I feel sad when I burn my pancake.
When what, Ariane?
What's that, Ariana?
When I burn my pancake.
When you burn your pancake.
Right.
Yes, you're looking forward to these pancakes coming out perfect and then they get burnt. Oh my goodness. I know what you mean.
Yeah, sometimes you have a nice little, you're saving a big piece of chicken for last and then it fall down. Or you
that's real sadness there, Ricardo. Real sadness.
When you throw down your food.
That's when I cannot do my music when I'm doing my work.
When you're doing your work?
That happens too. That happens too. Especially when you're trying hard and your car seem to make it.
Yes.
But it's not working out for you.
Yeah, it's true.
But we could tell that Jade's sad because she's crying. What about her eyes?
Tears are falling off.
Mm-hmm.
She's looking downward.
Looking downward.
Yes.
Yep.
Her hands in her pockets and she looking a little droopy.
Mm-hmm. And the hands are very important, huh? If we look
She's
earlier,
looking,
go ahead.
she's
You
looking
just
fatter
said
than
hunched
ever.
over.
Mm-hmm.
Repeat that, Ariana.
And she's looking fatter than ever.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Shoulders slouched, hands in her pockets. Now, the thing with the hands is when you're ready to fight, the hands were clenched. When you were happy, your hands were behind you. Your chest was open. You didn't need like you wanted to defend yourself. When your hands in your pockets, that's a sign that you're feeling helpless because you have nothing you could do anyway. So, the crease in the forehead, that's a good one.
Yes.
What makes me sad when I wash up the dishes and I leave the kitchen spotless, and the next morning I wake up, I see dishes in the sink.
Oh gosh, yeah. After all that work.
Mm-hmm. I wonder who that for, boy. Wash all your wares.
Don't leave any dishes in the sink.
And this is a big one too. Worried is a big one. A lot of us have been very worried over the past couple of years.
Yeah. So let's see what's happening with the worried. You want to take this one, Ricardo?
Sure, I already do the sad, the worried right there with it.
Yeah.
Right.
You share this
Worried,
one.
having concerned, distressed, or fearful thoughts about uncertain outcomes or possible problems. Now, I want to focus on those two words there, uncertain and possible. Worried is when you're not afraid for now, you know. Worried is when you're afraid for what might happen. It ain't no guarantee yet, eh? It ain't sure to happen. Oh gosh, I might get licks. Oh gosh, I might be late. It ain't happened yet, but you're worried about it. So you might feel worried when someone you care about is sick. You wonder why your parent is late to pick you up from school, or you can't figure out the math assignment and think you will fall behind in class forever. Clues include tense muscles, stomach aches, foot tapping, nail biting, fidgeting, sweating, trembling, shortness of breath, racing heart, dry mouth, or headaches. See how much your body is react to you worrying? You might also feel anxious, stuck, nervous, uncertain, angry, stressed out, overwhelmed, indecisive, tired, bothered, avoidant, or cautious. Avoidance is an important word when you're worried too. We try to procrastinate or we just run away. So what might have happened to make Jin feel worried?
I am worried when my mom reach home. She normally reach home 4 o'clock and I see 5 o'clock pass and she is not home as yet. I get worried to know where she is or if anything happened to her.
Very important one. We worry when people late.
He may not do exam.
Worried about your exam?
He's worried that he don't get the bad grade and he wouldn't get his new PS5.
True. Sometimes we worry that we don't get what we want. Oh, Princess C forgot that he had a test.
Wow. Yes. He's thinking, oh my, why did I forget that test?
And then your stomach starts to hurt and your head starts to hurt and you don't want to go to school.
And he's worried because he lost his homework.
Oh, and what the teacher might say.
I am worried right now because my birthday is December and I told my mom I want to do something for my birthday. So she told me CXC or birthday. So I have to choose the CXC and leave the birthday.
Yeah.
Akila, is it possible to mute your music when you're sharing? It just distorting what you're saying.
She said she worried her birthday's coming up, but she had to choose between CXC coming on the birthday. So she had to choose the CXC right now. And
yeah, when you have to make choices and you really
Mhm.
want something, but you have to prioritize, isn't it? It worries you.
Yeah, that is again, this is all part of it. You know how you're feeling, but what you're going to do? Work hard on CXC and then celebrate hard for the birthday next year, God willing. Or you could
Yeah.
even celebrate your birthday after CXC.
CXC, yeah.
Why not? The birthday is one day, but you could celebrate your birthday every day if you want.
Yep. You could celebrate after. Make it a joint, you know, CXC and birthday celebration.
And it'll be even sweeter because now it's 6 months right. But anyway, three
Yeah, I
clues.
here, but my birthday is December, and you have to pay the money next month. So I had to choose the CXC,
The
not the
CXC.
birthday.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, if it's one thing I could say though, you're making the decision that might make the other birthdays even better.
That's correct. Long-term decisions, huh?
Mhm.
That's what's important, because in the middle of next year, when you get your results, you will be glad that you'd made the right choice, and then you can celebrate CXC and your birthday.
Yeah.
As they say, self-discipline equal happiness.
Hmm.
And delaying gratification helps a lot. So in the long run, it's going to be more pleasure.
Yes, very true.
Self-discipline equal happiness.
So making wise decisions, because the immediate gratification, you can make that decision, but what are the consequences long term after you've made that, you know, immediate gratification of having a birthday, you know, now, and not writing your exams, which will affect your life, you know, further on.
I am very glad that Akila brought up that point because that is a part of the emotional intelligence. You know how you're
Yes.
feeling, and you have a reason to feel that way. But what are you going to do with the feeling?
Yes.
And it is the mature decision. It is the mature decision. It is the decision that says, God willing, this will set me up for better.
Yes.
And that is a hard decision to make sometimes. I wish I'd made more of those types of decisions when I was younger. Trust me, hard work in front does make it plenty easier.
Later on.
Anyway.
And then you have less worry, you know, later on.
And even if you have the same worry, you have better options.
Yes. Yeah, you do.
You have better options. It's like you have a toolkit.
Yes.
And the more tools you have in the toolkit, is the easier it is to do the same work.
To do the job, yeah. And that's why emotional intelligence and all these sessions are very important, because they are tools in the toolkit to help us, young ladies, you know, navigate the challenges of life. Yeah.
Yeah.
So 3 clues that is worried. What's telling us that Jen is worried here?
Ooh, you see that hand on the forehead thing?
Oh, yes.
You notice with everybody else's hands, they were clenched,
yes.
They were relaxed, they were in the pocket. This one going to where the problem
headache.
is, you know.
Yeah, headache, head. Stress.
So if you see your parents like this, say, Mommy, what are you worrying about?
Yes.
Daddy, what are you worrying about? That's your clues.
Look at the eyes, it kind of, you know,
the eyes
hanging downwards, yeah. So definitely we know that something is going on here.
You're looking stressed out.
Yes, stressed. He looks very stressed.
Only realized everybody else was standing up, and this one, he kind of small up himself.
Yeah, he's sitting down, he don't have the strength, he worried, he feeling drained and tired, and yeah.
So these are the types of clues you could look at. Body language is important with emotional intelligence as well, because they sometimes say things that our mouths can't say.
Yeah.
If somebody walks up to you and says, I am sad, you're not going to believe them. But if you see somebody crying, then they don't have to tell you that they're sad.
Yes. The action.
Or if somebody say, I am happy, and then they're like, I am happy.
You can tell by the tone of voice and the expression.
Body language says it all.
Says it all, yes.
So, Ricardo, how was your day? Good.
That didn't sound so good.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
So you know that good wasn't good.
Mm-hmm. How was the test? How was school? Yep. The way that you answered your body language, it says a lot. A friend of mine says that body language is 90% of communication. I don't know if I agree with him, but that's what he says.
It's a big part.
But it's a big part.
Yes. So we'd like to acknowledge WholeHearted School Counseling for their resources. Ladies, I would advise you to go up on their website, WholeHearted, I'll type it in the chat, and look for more materials that they have. They've got lots of interesting, coping tools and mechanisms that you can use to help you to become more emotionally intelligent and to cope with the stresses of life.
Tell us what you're taking away from this session. We always like to hear, what tools you're taking away, how you felt going through the practices, what came up for you. Ariana, go ahead.
So I learned that emotional intelligence is the ability to monitor one's own and other people's emotions.
Very good. Very good. Caitlin, we haven't heard from you. CXC time. Princess says she learned that emotional intelligence can help you a lot through life. Very good, Princess.
Now remember, ladies, while this might seem very basic or that you know it already, sometimes it's about finding out something that could help somebody else. It might be about helping somebody else. You might have a friend who's not as expressive as you might be or not as outspoken as you might be. And this could help you communicate with them better.
Yeah. Who wants to go? Selena Sandar, how are you feeling today? How are you feeling having practiced this session? Okay, Selena said, I'm wonderful. It's been a very informative session.
Samaya says she's learned that you should listen to others.
Yeah. That's why God has given us 2 ears and 1 mouth.
2 ears, 2 eyes, 1 mouth.
Yeah, so we can see more, watch, observe.
Look, we had the boss reach. Yes, Debra. Good morning. Good morning.
Hi. Well, I had a cold, right? I'm battling this virus for the last 2 weeks. So I want to talking much because every time I talk, it's like I have to cough.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it was from when I came in, a really, really good session. You all don't need psychologists on your team. I mean, Ricardo, my goodness, doing really well.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it was really, really good. The takeaways were really important. To have empathy is something that's very, very important. I mean, empathy is a strength. It could also be a weakness in some fields, but in emotional intelligence, I guess it's one of the most important things, right up there with self-awareness, because you have to be, self-aware to self-regulate. And that is being mindful of others, where the empathy will come in. So I really enjoyed it. I didn't say anything because, I mean, you all had it so under control. It's like, what? Really? And that mental health check-in and seeing about another person checking in on somebody goes well with emotional intelligence. So it was really, really, really good for the part that I saw. I heard. really well. I think you all did a marvelous, marvelous job in sending this message across. I hope every girl, every person that listened to this on YouTube too will be able to identify those aspects of being or becoming emotionally intelligent. Because in our society that we live in now, we need it. We need it from the younger persons growing up. So this was really, as Simone said, one of the most most important topics that I think Sapphire Miriam Foundation could have given. This is really, really, it hit the spot for all that is happening right now in our society. And I like how you brought in Jesus, obviously, because I mean, he did it. He was a perfect example of being emotionally intelligent, you know? So I kudos, 100-fold kudos for this session. I think you all did a marvelous, marvelous job. You all don't need no psychologist. You all doing, Ricardo, yeah, boy, you're doing well. I think it's because you're surrounding yourself with so many counselors and psychologists.
Right, true.
Because everything you said is what we would have learned in school, and you learning it without even having to pay all the money. And you're sending it out in such a good way with family and home and friends and all the elements that you need for this topic. You did it well. Debra did a good job. Simone did a well job. I didn't come in before, so I don't know who was here before. But
we had J'elle Valdez.
Well, I mean, she is obviously, you know, but she's a professional.
Yeah.
But I love how you all handle it really, really good. All I think that Simone, I didn't get a chance to actually go through the email, but from what I saw just now, it really ties in really, really well too. I think you all did a really good job. This was like a crash course for me after doing it so many years ago. It was, I was just listening. I had my head on the desk, but I was listening. So.
All right. Yes, Miss.
Okay. Thanks, Debra, so much.
Thank you, Debbie.
Appreciate it. So we want to thank all our sponsors, the Natural Corporation of Trinidad and Tobago and National Gas Company for making this session possible and all of these sessions possible in 2022. I want to thank them tremendously for their support, because without their support, we would not be able to do these sessions and empower you young ladies. So thanks to Unitrust Corporation of Trinidad and Tobago and the National Gas Company of Trinidad and Tobago.
And I want to just say a special thank you to NLCB, who we are continuing the work that they helped us start.
Oh yes, last year was tremendous. We really thank them for their support, and it has made this year possible as well.